The Conjuring is the first film in an 8-film franchise, soon to be 9, following the release of Conjuring Last Rites, aka The Conjuring 4, in September. This franchise is personally my favorite horror movie franchise ever created. The Conjuring is a rated R supernatural horror film with a runtime of 1 hour and 52 minutes. The film's director is the incredibly talented James Wan, and it was released July 19th, 2013. Every character in this movie was brilliantly cast. They all deliver phenomenal performances. Vera Farmiga plays Lorraine Warren. Patrick Wilson plays Ed Warren. Lily Taylor plays Carolyn Perrin. Ron Livingston plays Roger Perrin. Shanley Caswell plays Andrea Perrin. Haley McFarland plays Nancy Perrin. Joey King plays Christine Perrin. Mackenzie Foy plays Cindy Perrin. Kyla Deaver plays April Perrin. Shannon Cook plays Drew Thomas. Sterling Jurens plays Judy Warren. John Brotherton plays Officer Brad Hamilton. Steve Coulter plays Father Gordon. Joseph Bashara plays Bathsheba Sherman. This film is loosely based off of true events that occurred in Harrisville/Burrowville, Rhode Island in 1971. This case of demonic possession centers around the Perrin family, most specifically around the wife and mother Carolyn Perrin, and eventually involved the assistance of the clairvoyant Lorraine Warren and her non-ordained husband Ed Warren, who lived in Monroe, Connecticut. One of the main themes throughout this film is good versus evil, with the Warrens and the Perrins battling demonic forces. The second theme is love, with the Warrens and the Perrins beginning to form trusts and relationships with one another as the film progresses. The third theme is faith versus doubt, with the Perrins being non-religious and non-believers until paranormal occurrences begin to occur to them, and the Warrens obviously being big believers and coming to assist the Perrins in their struggles. What I really love most about these films is that even though they're scary and put you on the edge of your seat, they also invite you in. That's what James Wan has always excelled at doing, is creating environments where you get to have a peaceful break from all the scariness going on, to really get to understand, know, and care about these characters so that you can root for them more so than you do in any other horror franchise ever created. There's really beautiful moments with spouses and siblings and acquaintances that are really beautiful that you don't really get to see a lot in other horror films. The music in this film was composed by Joseph Bashara, who creates the soundtrack for several of James Wan's films. The music in this film is used primarily for the jump scares and has a very successful delivery rate. There are a total of 12 jump scares in this film, and they are all brilliant jump scares, and they are brilliantly breadcrumbed and have a very successful delivery. The outfits in this film were beautifully chosen. They match the characters' personalities wonderfully. They also tend to stick to a very muted color tone for the clothing as to not draw unnecessary attention against the dark environment that the film is being shot in, as well as sticking to more modest clothing for both the men and the women as to not draw unnecessary attention that way either. And they excel at picking era-appropriate clothing for giving a genuine sense of 1970s clothing aesthetic. This film features no nudity and only has the occasional subtle innuendo that occurs between spouses. The Conjuring has received these reviews from well-known outlets such as a 7.5 out of 10 by IMDb, an 86% by Rotten Tomatoes, and a 68% by Metacritic. I personally have to give the film a 7.5 out of 10 rating, similar to IMDb, because I have seen the other movies of this franchise, and I think they only get better from here. I like to refer to this movie as the crash test, even though it certainly didn't crash, because they get more comfortable in their portrayals, and I think they get more comfortable in adding jump scares and going into the severity of these situations that I think they were more hesitant when they released their first film. I think they tried to mellow it down more so than they did for the rest of the universe, and I like how the rest of the universe's movies portray. Overall, if you're looking for a good horror film, this is the recommendation for you. I hope you enjoy this film and the other films in the Conjuring universe. If you're interested in seeing reviews of the other Conjuring movies, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Feel free to comment any recommendations for horror movies and television series or other genre movies and television series, and I would be happy to review or watch and review the ones I haven't seen for you. Thank you so much for watching. This is Movie Reviews from Emma to You, and I'll see you next time.